Brakleen. If you're anything like me, and you probably are, I bet you use a ton of it because I use a ton of it. This stuff is car guy ambrosia. We use it for everything. So last week when I was at PRI, a booth caught my eye that offered a different solution to get away from these single-use spray cans. This is a Sure Shot sprayer. It's made by an American company called Sure Shot. They have a banner on their website with a big American flag behind it that says Made in America by Americans, so that's always a plus. And because I love tools, they got me. I bought 2 of them. Let's try it out. Now first off, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not affiliated with this company at all. I'm just passing along something that I thought was cool, so you guys might think it's cool as well. So these things are pretty simple. All you're gonna do is get yourself some bulk Brakleen. Now they sell this in gallons, but of course it's cheaper the more you buy. So this is a 5-gallon container. I bought this from Advanced Auto Parts. I spent $94 on it, I believe. And I got these on sale for $45. So I'm in about $140, call it $150 after taxes on this. Now that seems steep, but when you calculate how much it costs for each of these cans compared to this guy here, I did a little bit of math and the price varies, but if you're buying these onesie twosies like most of us are, it takes about 40 cans of these to equal one of this. 40 cans at $5 a piece is $200, so we're saving $50 right there, and that's just assuming the one. And this guy's made to last a long time. Not only is it, built in America by Americans, but Sure Shot on their website has a full catalog of replacement parts, so even if something went bad, you could replace this. So in theory, I mean, this could last you the rest of your life. If you're saving $50 even through the first can, if you continue using this for years and years and years, you're gonna save a lot of money over time. So yeah, it's steep up front, but you could save a lot of money in the long run. So how does this work? You've got your little top on here. That's also got your air chuck on it. This one has a toolbar. I have another one that comes just with a 15/16 socket. I honestly don't know why they ship them like that, but I like the one that's toolless. You can just pop it loose with your hand. Then you're gonna get some of this in there. This thing holds 40 ounces. They do make smaller ones. They also make a different one with a different top on it that allows for water-based solutions. You're not supposed to use water on this type of one. Crank this back down now that we've got some Brakleen in it. Then we're gonna go over to our air compressor and pump this thing up. So all this guy is a basic tire chuck. Be safe, the maximum PSI on these is 200 PSI. Sure Shot recommends 80 to 150. My compressor has a regulator that's set to 90, so we're gonna put about 90 pounds of pressure into it. Now this is not your tire. There's not a lot of space to fill, especially if it's full of fluid. Fluid doesn't compress, which consequently is how this whole thing works. But it goes fast. Now if you have a regulator set, it's not gonna go past that anyway, but just be warned, don't overpressurize it. And it's that fast. I mean, it's just a couple of seconds and I've already got the full 87 PSI in it that my regulator's set to right now. So what better way to test this than with an old spiderweb encrusted brake rotor? So Sure Shot sells all sorts of different nozzles for this that's gonna fit your needs, but as it ships in its basic configuration, it's gonna give you a mist pattern. That may or may not be what you want. So the rep told me that there's a little brass doodad in here that makes it that mist pattern, and if you remove it, you'll get more of the traditional Brakleen out of a can straight spray. Now it should be noted, there's a lock nut here, and here's your nozzle. Now these are both SAE hardware, 9/16, 1/2. Make sure you put a backing wrench on the 9/16 portion, because if you don't, and that spins, and this is pressurized with fluid in it, it will spray. Ask me how I know. Anyway, there's our backing wrench. Pop that little guy loose. And even though we're pressurized, it's not leaking because we didn't actually loosen that jam nut with the seal behind it. So as mentioned, here's our little brass doodad. We'll just set that aside. Fast forward to me never remembering where that's at. Put this back on, give it a quick snug down. Now we should have that spray pattern. There you go, and that looks more like probably what you're used to seeing out of Brakleen can. Sure Shot claims that if this thing's all the way full with 40 ounces of Brakleen and you do put at least 80 PSI into it, that it will empty the entire thing. I'd sort of like to test that. I'd have to spray 40 ounces of Brakleen in my enclosed garage in here. And I like you guys, but I don't know if I like you guys enough to breathe in enough Brakleen to unalive a Clydesdale. Just not particularly looking to take a trip to the heart of the cosmos today. So we're just gonna take their word for it. I mentioned losing that little brass piece. It doesn't matter because if you go on Sure Shot's website, not only do they sell a bunch of different nozzle fittings and stuff like that, to fit your need if you need to go around corners, etc. They also sell all the replacement parts for this. So if you're like me and you're trying to get away from some single-use throwaway items, this could potentially last you a long time, because not only is it well built to start with, but you can buy all those replacement parts to keep it going for a long time. And the last thing I want to note is, I know this is probably not a new technology. In fact, I would bet that this is probably an older technology that is just having a glow up now from, again, people trying to get away from one time and throw away items, or just people trying to use less aerosols, CFCs, etc. So don't at me if you're like, hey, my dad had one of those in his garage 50 years ago. I'm sure he probably did, but I love tools. I buy new stuff all the time. I look for new stuff all the time. So if I didn't know about it, I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there in internet land who didn't know about it either. So again, just trying to pass along something that I thought was cool and you might think is cool as well. That's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. I hope you thought this little thing was as cool as I did. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.